This is Kim with Geauga Firearms Academy. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to check out the Infinity Target Gen 2 from Infinite Defense. We're going to be shooting it with our new Echelon and also with my AR. So let's check it out. Before we start, some really cool features about it. It's made 100% in the USA and it's made of 100% recycled material.
So what is an Infinity Target? And specifically, what makes it a Gen 2? So this particular target is a self-healing rubber material. I don't know what it is, don't really care. But the way this works is you can shoot quite a few rounds with this. They claim that for every square inch you can shoot 110 .223 rounds in it, 5.56, whatever. We have significant usage of this target. In fact, just to show you how much, come on, bring that camera up here. You're gonna see back here, I can actually start to manage some holes where I can see some light. So there you go, you can see there's a little bit of light shining through this one. Now, I'm not showing you that to say that this is less than advertised or inferior. What I'm trying to show you is that I've shot this, Kim shot this, but more importantly, we've passed this around to all our private clients, students. We've shot the living stuff out of this guy. We're probably 60% 9mm and 40% 5.56 223. But it's definitely held up. As you can see, this has not been cared for. I throw this in the back of the truck. I throw it in the back of the side-by-side. It's got mud and dirt and it's been painted I don't even know how many times. One of the cool things about this that I was like, well, how do they keep the lines? When I first saw this, so the lines, if you get close, you'll see that the lines are actually deeply engraved. And that's basically what it does. Is it casts a shadow of itself, I guess, in the grooves there, and that's how it works. So I'll go over what I spray it with because it's actually semi-important. As you can see, when this target dries, we're going to shoot it now. It's been dry. I've obviously repainted it because I wanted to show you when the paint's really, really dry, it's going to be very definitive. As it gets wet and you put multiple layers of wetter paint on it, and as you shoot a lot, you'll still start to see it, but it won't be as clearly defined. So just one thing to note. I promise we're going to be shooting this today with the Echelon, brand new. I know you're going to look at this and say, hey, how come this doesn't have all the cool stuff? I've seen all the Echelons, like the X300, Surefire, and the RMR on there, and the cool Safariland holster. That's because Springfield didn't send this to me. I paid my own money for this.
Purposely shot in a different area so we could see where it was hitting. So that's what it looks like when it's all dry and you shoot it.
So I want you guys to be able to see this actually actively as it's happening. So we're going to set the camera up down there, and then you'll actually see as we shoot how it actually appears.
Now Neil's going to shoot the head. And you can see how it impacts when it's dry.
So there you saw impacting live. We're gonna take our spray here. We're gonna hit it up. I find that the lighter coats actually helps. If you get it real thick and heavy and wet, you won't see the impacts as well. So I'm gonna shoot the same thing again, just so you kind of see right after. It's very humid today. It's actually very hot as well. But we're gonna shoot this in real time. So basically in the next minute, I'm gonna put rounds back on here so you can see how it affects it. Now, just because it's the first coat, we should still some pretty good shots. But again, after 5 or 6 of this, you're gonna start to diminish a little bit. And then we're gonna shoot it with the 223 5.56.
You can see the difference when it's wet versus when it's dry. So this area is a little bit drier, so you were able to see these shots a lot better. You can still see these shots, but they're not quite as apparent as the drier shots. And that was with us shooting right after we sprayed it. So if you gave it just a little bit of time, maybe you went and reloaded, or you just took like 10-minute little break, it would be much easier to see. Now let's do the 5.56. If you follow us on social media, you already may have seen this, but I picked up my birthday present. I clear-coated my AR Jurassic Park theme because I like the movie a lot. You can see this really cool logo in the back. They did an amazing job. It was done by Victor's Legacy in Fairport Harbor. You can even ship your firearm from anywhere to them. I'll put a link for their services below. And I'm going to shoot lower again since the target's dry, and you'll be able to see where it's hitting. So you can see my dry shots, and now we're gonna spray paint it lightly and then shoot it wet right away. And now you can see the shots when we shot it wet. And that was fresh. We just barely sprayed it and we went and shot it right away. So definitely waiting a few more minutes would have helped a lot.
So what is this, who's it for, why would you want it? So there's a couple different avenues you can look at this. The first one, of course, is just your average enthusiast, you know, someone that's gonna take a couple of these to the range and shoot them, in which case, I mean, you can't go wrong. All you're gonna do is buy some spray paint, the good stuff, and spray it. You'll be able to see here, this is this Rust-Oleum double coat stuff. The manufacturer recommends you use actually a premium paint or primer, like Hills or whatever. This seems to work pretty good. You don't wanna buy like the cheap $1.99 big box store paint, because it just doesn't cover as well and doesn't do as good a job. So for the extra couple bucks, get some premium paint or primer to paint it with. Now, going back to who's it for, if you're an enthusiast, you want to throw a couple of these up, fantastic idea. If you are a professional firearms company, meaning that you're going to buy a lot of these and you're going to use them, there's some benefits and some not so beneficial things. For one, they weigh almost 9 pounds. This one too. This is the Gen 2, and what makes it, I guess, better than Gen 1, it's approximately 30% lighter and 30% longer lasting, but it's still pretty heavy at 9 pounds. So if you had 10 of these, you have 90 pounds of targets, especially if you're a traveling instructor. You got to keep that in mind. 135 if you got 15 of them. But for the most part, who really cares? At the end of the day, the major advantages is that we can use these over and over and over and over again. The other advantages, I don't know if you've ever gone to a class or you teach and you're teaching in the rain, which happens a lot, and the target starts to melt away because they're cardboard. You won't have that problem with these guys here. The weight being 9 pounds is that once they are secured up there, they're pretty solid. They add some weight, especially in the wind. So if you stake your stuff down, you're good to go there. What's the limitations? They tell you not to shoot slugs at this. Birdshot and buckshot, you can shoot at a minimum of 12 yards. Also, no hollow points. I don't know, I mean, a lot of people are training with hollow points, but certainly use your cardboard for that, and everything else is good to go. It's been extremely durable. Generally, I don't get into prices, but price point might be important depending on what kind of end user you are. If this is a business setup, obviously you're going to have these for a long period of time. You'll figure you're $1.50 for a cardboard target, and then how long will it take to pay them off, et cetera, et cetera. That's up to you. Again, the advantage I think from this is that you're going to be able to offer your clientele something that most places are not. It's a pretty cool target that is going to stand up to just about anything. So regardless of whether it's snowing or raining or whatever the case is, you're going to have perfect targets. One thing you'll note when we did set this up, they do send these like binder clips, like for paper and stuff like that. Those are a no-go for me. They're not wide enough to fit on the actual furring strip. And I just like the beefier connection because there is a lot of weight, especially if it's windy. So I would definitely recommend those plastic or the heavier ones you get at a Home Depot or whatever. A great product, extremely durable. I've left that out in the rain and the weather for a couple weeks, hot sun. It holds up fine. It's not going to rust. I mean, nothing's ever going to happen to it as long as you take care of it. It can take quite a good amount of abuse. Like I said, I would guesstimate, because again, it's being shot by students. I would say we're probably in the 4,000 or 5,000 round range on that target. I mean, and we're just now starting to see a tiny hole in it, and it's been shot again with a mixture of ammo. So very, very happy with that. Especially that's the only one we've been using. If we had a couple of them, obviously we're going to spread the wear out over time. I think it's a target that will last an extremely long period of time. So go ahead and check it out if you like. The links will be down below.
Another tip, like we did today, you can change where you're aiming at so that you can make it last even longer. Because of course, if you're always aiming at the same area, it's going to wear out much quicker than if you vary where you're aiming for. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a like, a thumbs up, a share, a comment. We always love to hear from you guys. You can find us here on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram. We put our premium content on Patreon. And of course, we're also too on Rumble. Until next time, remember, it's always better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.